Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There you go, right down there. If you want to be among the first to hear my weekly takes, NFL, college football, more, right there. So Atlanta and the Chargers are announcing everybody they interview. They want it out there. And I think some of that is if they don't land Harbaugh, or Belichick, they want their fans to know, hey, we swung big. I was told by somebody who I trust, he really thinks the Chargers are going to pay for Harbaugh. He really believes it. Do you think between the fact that he owns Ohio State, he's losing all those players, the Big Ten's not getting easier. This year is the final year where you can say, we have one big game a year where we have a physical equal.
Ohio State just landed half of Alabama's roster. You see that?
I saw that. That quarterback, that high school quarterback, who knows what it'd be as a collegiate, but that kid can
I think the safety's like Ed Reed Jr.
Yeah. So Ohio State's back in terms of like high-end players in the right positions. Would you be surprised if Harbaugh stayed in college?
No, I fully expect him to leave. And I mean, everyone thought that I've been talking to that thinks this Harbaugh to the Chargers deal, as long as he's cool with it, like has been a done deal for a while. I mean, there were rumors about they talked during that Rose Bowl week, a couple weeks ago. I think clearly the Chargers, I mean, they faced so much negativity. How long can you be called cheap and irrelevant before eventually you kind of draw a line in the sand? We've talked so much about the money. I mean, these are just line items to him. I think he had kind of decided on that more than likely a long time ago, that he was coming back to the NFL. And once he kind of saw the landscape, that was the choice. I actually find it more fascinating on Belichick and the Falcons. Do you remember around the draft, there were some rumors about Belichick liking Baker Mayfield? Remember, he was kind of interested and they were sniffing around. Baker's a free agent. He needs a quarterback. Are we sure that Belichick wouldn't try to get Baker Mayfield? Baker looks pretty solid, right? Just kind of play within that offense. Yeah. Harbaugh to the Chargers and Baker Mayfield and Belichick to the Atlanta Falcons. That's if I was a betting man right now, not the Baker thing, I think that would be cool. But I think it's pretty clear that Harbaugh, Chargers, and really, where else is Belichick going? I mean, that's really his only option. It feels like right now is Atlanta.
Yeah, it's people. And I've said this with Baker, I'd have no problem signing him up for 3 to 4 years. I even thought today they just don't have the players, but I thought they
look good.
I thought he looked good. He gets into trouble when he thinks he's more athletic than he is, and he moves out of the pocket. And it's like, Baker, throw it away. He'll extend plays sometimes, and you're like, come on, Baker, this is not what you're not. That's not your game. But if you give him time, let him sit back and step into it.
I think he's tailor-made for a dome too, with some of those weapons in Atlanta.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting in this league with Baker is that, Geno Smith's a great example, is it's become such a quarterback-centric league, is that there's reclamation projects. If I can pay you somewhere between 18 and 24, what do I care? The going right now is in the 50s. So I look at Baker and I'm like, if I could get him for 26, I'm paying half of what Dak makes, and I'm not so sure he doesn't throw a better ball than Dak. So to me, Baker's got a real market. Everybody loves Justin Fields, but I'm still not sure he can sit in the pocket and throw darts. I know Baker can.
I take Baker all day long over Justin Fields right now.
I think Baker's market's better than people think it is.
I totally agree. I also haven't talked to you since the Raiders named Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
I think anytime in the NFL, and I get Max Crosby's an excellent player, and obviously so is Devontae, but when you start letting the players, like this isn't LeBron or Steph Curry, when you let them dictate, and listen, Antonio Pierce, team captain, Super Bowl team, no one questions his leadership ability. But they have no offense. They have no quarterback or offensive coordinator in a division that has Andy Reid, who's back in his conference championship for the 100th time. Jim Harbaugh is going to go with Justin Herbert, and Sean Payton. Their team's never going to be worse, and he found a way to win 8 games. Right, so that's, and I understand Mark. I don't know who else he's going to hire.
Yeah,
but that seems a little risky when you just start listening to your players in this sport. It's because it's so much of a team game. If this was the NBA and Max Crosby was Giannis, okay, but it's like he could have 15 sacks and I could still win 7 games.
Yeah, John, this is why the interim situation's really tough, because what happens is everybody gets a natural energy bounce from an interim
Happens
coach.
every time.
every time. And the Raiders have enough. I mean, if you go back, the Raiders have enough playmakers. You can be. It is a very competent team, and especially when you play those divisional rivals, Kansas City, the Chargers, and Denver. Those games are close. They were
Always.
close 3 years ago, and the Chiefs were stacked.
Yeah.
So my takeaway is, once you do that, and once you blew out Josh, you knew this team was, because Josh is so despised as a guy. He was just
Hated.
that Antonio, a former player, is going to be loved. And so it was just like, it's like the Raiders couldn't quite see around the corner. It's like, guys, you're just setting yourself up. And I hope Antonio Pierce works, but we have to admit it. We watched today a defensive coach, Sean McDermott, get beat by an offensive coach on the most at home, finally with a run game, with the most vulnerable Patrick Mahomes is going to be. And so now we have two offensive coaches in the NFC in the championship. We have an offensive coach against kind of a special team. I don't consider Harbaugh a defensive coach. I think he's done everything.
He's unique. Yeah.
He's very unique. And so, like, to me, it's like, it's a risk. Harbaugh, Sean Payton, Reed, 6 games a year.
It's not easy.
Sorry.
I mean, good luck.
I wish him the very best. All right. This is good stuff. Got a great weekend coming up. We'll talk again. John, it's great seeing you, and appreciate it.
No problem, Colin. Talk to you soon.
All right.